as far as communication is concerned, no one no one can say that communication is not needed or it doesn't have importance in one's life. Every successful person, if you try to search, investigate, we will learn one thing, that whatever way he communicated to others, it was clearly understood and it was the instruction followed clearly. And that is what has led to him as a successful person. Now, I would like to ask those students who are here, they can unmute their mic and answer my question. Have you heard this dialogue? You give me blood and I will give you freedom. Who said this? Can you name the person or the leader who said this? Definitely it is one of the Indian leaders. If we have students from other countries, they may not be able to answer it, possibly. But
Bhagat
at
Singh.
least, yes.
Bhagat Singh.
Oh, Bhagat Singh.
No, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
Who said that? Who said that? Can you?
Umer Ahmad.
Humaira Ahmad.
Umer Ayyan, sorry, Umer Ayyan.
Okay. So it was said by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So Netaji is no more, but he is a leader with integrity, and we know him, we respect him, and we consider him as one of the greatest leaders that India has produced. A freedom fighter, no doubt about it. And he spoke this to all members, to all Indians, those times, who were coming forward to play a role in freedom of the country. And once he said this, there were lines of people joining his army. That is what the effect of communication is. That is what the effect of a good, trusted leader is. So, before also we have the same importance of communication. Today also we have the same importance of communication. And in future, I can say that communication will be a very important factor, because the days are gone when you can win war, when you can confront anybody and try to defeat them. You may be able to win for few days, for a month, but never, you cannot settle this with war, or you cannot oppress somebody. But it can be done by clear, honest, effective communication. Now, I would like to give you an example. When a child is born, have you heard the cries of the child? Yes, I think you have your younger brothers, sisters, or you may be having some of your cousins who were born recently, and they may be crying. Do you think they are speaking? Do you think they are talking to you or to the mother or father? No, they just cry. So crying is the first way of communication on this planet, which can be understood, not by all, but definitely by the child's mother. The mother, if it is a first child, then steps in the grandmother's, either paternal or maternal. Still, it is the mother's experience which can understand why the child is crying. And if you see the child crying as a normal person, you just hear the voice of the child. There could be different voice modulation going up and down, but there are no words which you can hear and you can understand what the child wants. So the first communication is just the voice without any words. Remember this, the first ever communication of a child born is just voice without any words. And on the other hand, you have a leader who just commands, who quote, give me your blood and I will give you freedom. And there are people queuing up to come forward. So that is also effective communication by a leader. Now, if you want to start from a person at a point where the person is born, the child is born without any words, just a voice, and to reach at a stage where you will be recommended, you will be remembered, you will be appreciated as a leader like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. This gap, you have to travel, you have to learn communication. So, you have a voice which is given by God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then suddenly as your parents start talking, as you start hearing them, you learn, you pick up those words, those and make sentences of that particular language. If you are in Urdu speaking family, you learn Urdu by default. If you are in a Marathi speaking family, you learn Marathi by default. So the language brings in the words. And now at an age when you start walking, when you start running, you can demand something from your mother, you can ask something from your father, you can tell something to your teachers, you can explain something to your friends. And those words you hear and you grasp. So, first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you voice, which is God gifted. You cry. If any newborn child do not cry, it is a difficult phase for the child to survive, because crying will expand your lungs, will start breathing. So the first cry is very important. And this, if the child do not cry, the doctor pinches up. The doctor hit the buttock. So to generate pain and make the child cry. Once the newborn child cries, the lung expands and he finds his or her voice. But then, as the child grows up, the child can be able to speak to his family members, mother, father, brother, sister, but definitely not to others, unless he steps in to the school where he gets some friends sitting beside him, beside her, and then he or she talks and walks in the teacher. And if the teacher is strict and disciplined, loving, then the teacher is always carrying a cane. And this brings in the fear factor first time in the child's life. In case if one of the parents of the child is very strict, the fear can creep in the child much before the school. So fear is one such factor which is causing hindrance in communication. So as a parent, as a teacher, as an adult, guardian, it is our duty to see that the child is brought up in a fear-free environment where the child can laugh, shout, and speak. This is the environment which every house should, every parent should try to give to their children. Fear, if it's there for a longer time, then you lose your voice. If you are dreaming and you have a very bad dream or nightmare, as we call, you try to shout, but the voice is not coming out. That is fear. When there is a fear, we lose voice. So it is our duty, who are the trainers, who are the motivators, try to help people, children, to find their voice again. So finding a voice is very important. Encouraging those children is another important factor to motivate them. But then what will be the child doing on his or her own? They should also try. One is they should try to take and be in such an environment where they get love, where they are liked, where they are motivated. This is one of the way they can reduce their fear. And once the fear is reduced, then they start talking. Talking is an important factor, but you don't learn talking unless and until you try to listen carefully. Therefore, every child, when they grow up, always should remember they should listen. Listening is a factor, is the thing, is a virtue wherein you can learn better. If teacher is teaching and you are talking to your neighbor or the friend sitting beside you, you feel that you will understand what the teacher is teaching? No. The teacher teach the lesson. The children as an audience should keep quiet and concentrate on those words which the teacher is teaching, or to the blackboard or whiteboard as it is nowadays, what she is writing. Besides, if you feel that you have understood, but there are some doubts, that is the correct point of time when you stand up and ask the teacher the problem or the solution for those misunderstood thing, or you have not understood something. Besides this, if you don't have the courage to ask on that particular day, in case if you have missed some part of the lesson as you were busy, or you're busy dreaming, daydreaming, or you are talking to a friend, then it will be better you go home, take out your textbook, read it, and come the next day, and before the teacher starts the lesson ahead, you raise your hand and ask the teacher that yesterday this was taught and this particular point I failed to understand. So listening is very important. Overcoming the fear is very important. Listening will also give you a lot of vocabularies which you may learn not only in the school but at home too. And definitely nowadays we have Gavel Club, we have organization like Stepping Stone, which Manzar Bhai is running with his better half. So such are the places wherein you can learn a lot of vocabularies. And remember one thing, if you listen carefully, you learn because you are young. At the time when you become old, learning will be difficult. It comes very slowly. So this is the correct age for you to listen carefully and learn faster. And remember till the entire life. Second thing which we have seen as a leader, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was a trusted person. You have to earn that trust if you become a speaker, if you are doing communication. And for this, you have to walk the talk. Walk the talk means whatever you are speaking, you should implement on yourself. You should apply on yourself. If I say ice cream is not good as a doctor to any patient, and if the patient sees me eating ice cream, especially the child will not trust me, because he said, this is a doctor who always try to tell the children that don't eat ice cream, and he is eating the ice cream in front of everybody. So this is not what you talk, you implement. So beside, a doctor can advise you so many things, but that is as a doctor. Whatever you advise or you tell somebody as a leader, they are all good things. Integrity is a part of leadership. You must observe that whatever you say, you must implement in your life. That is called as walk the talk. So whenever you want to communicate as an effective speaker, you must walk the talk. That means people should trust you, and your talk should convince them that yes, person is saying, he means it. If you in public does the opposite thing, people may reject you as a leader. People will not believe you as a communicator. So this is very important thing. Beside this, as a communicator, your general knowledge has to be more. Whenever you get time, read, read, and read. Today, in the era of information technology, in the era of computerization, you will find a lot of books online. And if you have time, don't waste it. Select some good book, read it, try to note down some points, and this will come to your help when you are speaking to an audience. So audience need something, the speaker should hold them. Even if the speaker is speaking for 5 minutes to 7 minutes, the speaker should have the capacity to hold the audience who can just listen to them and don't run away. So that is we call as an effective communication. Talking to you that from a child who just knew how to cry and becoming a great leader, one of the great leader which I have told you as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, throughout this, you found your voice, you listened carefully, you adapted and you absorbed the words around you, then stepped in the fever, you lost your voice, and you then don't try to talk unless and until you are asked, pressurized to talk. But then the fear factor, if you remove with the help of your parents, your teachers, your environment, your society, then again you are a communicator who can learn much more better. You have the voice which you lost. Then you have the words. Now you are building up the words, sentence, phrases, quotations, and then step in again the voice. So whenever you are writing the script as a speaker to speak, that script differ from the script if you are writing as an author to make it or write a book. So both the things are different. That itself is a long chapter, a workshop on its own. How you write a script for a speaker, as a speaker, and how would you write a script, pages together on a topic with a purpose to become an author of a book. So words, sentence, phrases, then the script writing. Finding the voice, if you want to speak your script out, then the audience, if you say in the same tone throughout, the audience will be bored. They will either try to talk with the person, ask about what is cooked in their house, or what is the news, or what they are doing in the next Friday, or they may go to sleep. And you lose the audience, you lose the concentration, and you have distraction in your speeches when you see people are not attentive to your speech. So voice modulation plays a good role. Sometimes you try to take your voice low, whisper, and then at times when the situation demands, you can talk loudly. This up and down of your vocal variety will keep the audience in condition that they will not even blink their eyes. They will be sitting on the edge of their chair. Lastly is the body gestures. Body gestures contains the facial gestures. You can have the from express from the eyes. You can express from your eyebrows. You can express from your lips. If you are angry, see that. If you're smiling, how you do it. Everything counts, and this gives you credit and your speech credit. Then is the hands. You can express with your hands. You can show them the size, show them the heights, clap, show them the thumbs up, thumbs down, and so many things you can do by hand gestures. And last but not the least, your body gestures. You stand up in the frame, if it is a digital platform, or on the stage. And then movement on the stage, you count in. This also is a part of body gestures. So remember one thing, that you had just got voice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have the fear from the environment. You have built up words from your own home, which is the first school of yours. Your first mentor, your first teacher being your mother and father. And you got the first audience as your siblings, brother and sisters. And then you have the fear in case if your environment is good, those fear is removed by your own family. If you are still under stress, then the school helps you out, or organization like Stepping Stone or Gavel Club helps you out. And thereafter you introduce, you find your voice, become bold, try to stand on your own on the stage, give a smile, take a deep breath, and start speaking what you have. This includes the words, this includes the voice, and this includes the body gestures. You have to have your word count to see that you are qualified within a speaking time. Remember this thing, there is a written speech which can be either for speaking verbally or for writing a book. There is a verbal speech wherein you use and you utilize your vocal variety, but the speech is not complete, not effective unless and until you add the body gestures. So if we consider how many marks would we give to the words, to the vocal varieties and the body gestures, do you have any idea? If not get more than 8 marks. So the words are not that important in a speech. Vocal variety get 37 marks if you add a word and a vocal variety without body gestures. Out of 100, you are just getting 45 marks. That is below 50. But you add body gestures, 55 marks comes in just by body gestures. So the effective speech has more power with your body gestures with 55 marks, with your vocal variety, additional 37 marks, and a good script will help you to get those last 8 marks to make it 100 out of 100. My dear fellow friends and young youth leaders, I have to tell you something this, that in case whichever background you come from is not important, but today where you stand and tomorrow where you want to go is more important. So you have a dream, just like Martin Luther King, make it a reality. Stand tall, respect your parent, respect your teacher, listen carefully, do work, day-to-day work, finish it off. And then one day you will realize that you have almost achieved the goal, or you're very near the goal. Just the last phase, you need to put in more energy and enthusiasm. Don't be don't be sleepy when you're talking to the audience. You are going to make them sleep. If you are drowsy or your energy is low, always raise your energy. You are young. I am young. And this last factor of energy and enthusiasm will see that you become an effective communicator. If there are any questions, please do ask me. And back to you, Manzar Bhai. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. Walaikum warahmatullah. MashaAllah, it was very nice. The tips given by Dr. Shakil, Dr. Shaikh Shakil Saab. He is a very communication expert. He has 16 plus years of experience in communication. Just now he have talked to us and given us some tips on communication techniques. He said first cry when the baby was born, fear-free environment so that the student can talk, trust, walk the talk, as there is the trust should be there, so the student can talk. The words, it makes sentences, phrases, and it becomes a script. And the example given by Dr. Saab, the Hindi version of that is, तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. Give me your blood, I will give you the freedom. The powerful words, the powerful sentence. And the last word which Dr. Saab said, I have a dream, by Martin Luther King Jr. He has a tremendous words and chosen words and script. I have a dream. Then the dream to change the nation. So it was very nice. Voice modulation, body gestures, and all other words. These are the things which we have to implement in our day-to-day life. This is just an iceberg which we have to implement in our lives. So my dear students, if you have any doubt, any question regarding this, you can ask. Just raise your hand, we will unmute you. As such, if you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat box as well, so that Dr. Saab can talk to you. Okay, sir. We have 2-3 minutes left, so we'll end up the session. We will provide you the contact number of Dr. Saab. Don't worry. Any other question? Specifically, those students who are dealing to talk or to communicate with the toughest students in their classes. For example, somebody is bullying them, or there is the students which cannot react or respond to the situation. So in this case also, you can ask if you have any doubt. Thank you. So, sir, I think there is no question because it's very crystal clear message given by you. So you might have another session after that. Okay, so Dr. Saab, we will end up the session here with your permission. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. We will end up the session here. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.